Welcome back to Well, That's Interesting. The Stop Making Me Think About Space. It makes me confront my own mortality edition.
Yeah, Jill. Stop it.
Oh, God. We're talking about space again. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Take me there.
Yeah.
Make me feel small. Give me a lot of numbers that are unfathomable.
Yep.
If you must.
Yes. I'm Jill Chacha, and I am with just the disappointed yet eager Marissa Riley.
Always. Always. The truth about the world is always equal parts interesting and disappointing.
Yeah.
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 And I forgot to say today's episode number. It's episode 076.
Yeah, the good old 76.
More uncomfortable stuff about space.
Amazing.
Yeah, and if this is your first time listening, welcome to the flock.
Welcome.
Dr. Riley here comes in cold and learns everything, every horrifying thing in real time, just like you.
It's true. I had no idea we were going to talk about space, but I should have guessed it. It's one of the big topics that we talk about. We talk a lot about space. We talk a lot about butts.
Yes.
And
Both hard to fathom sometimes.
Yeah, it's really hard. Been in some uncomfortable positions. Jeez.
Yes. Equal but opposite terrifying things.
Exactly.
Yeah, the more I learn about space, the more I want to curl into a fetal position in some corner. Honestly, I can't live alone knowing this kind of information. So I ask you to join me in the fetal position in that corner as today we talk about 3 uncomfortable discoveries.
It sounds great. Everyone get comfortable. Everyone get fetal.
That's right.
Because here we go.
Yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit. But honestly, what better way to begin than to tell you that if you spend a lot of time out there in space, you may permanently change some of your gene expression.
What? Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's really impossible. Right?
No, it's possible. Yeah.
Oh my God. Gene expression. I thought that was like an ironclad thing that's like you're born with it and that's it.
Well, off the top of your head, Dr. Marissa, based on your years of experience in genetics,
yes.
What do you think? What do you think the term gene expression means?
I think you're born with genes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
spot on. Yep.
that you get from your parents' DNA.
Uh-huh.
You have a certain number of chromosomes, and they're like you can change things about your body, but you can't change the like DNA you're born with. And then if you choose to pass it along, you can.
Yeah.
But it's in your cells.
There you go.
It's in
cells.
all of your cells.
You said the big word, cells. Yeah.
Look
there
at all of... Did you hear me just now? Oh my God. Am I a doctor? That just blew my mind. Did I just give a TED Talk on stuff? I lost everyone
amazing.
just now.
No,
yeah.
It was award-winning. Thank you.
Thank you,
doctor. Yeah, let's get specific. According to yourgenome.org, amazing. Quote, gene expression is the process by which the instructions in our DNA are converted into a functional product.
That's basically what I just said.
There you go. It's a tightly regulated procedure that allows a cell to respond to its changing environment. Put a pin in that.
Okay.
Yeah, it acts as both an on and off switch to control when proteins are made, and also a volume control that increases or decreases the amount of proteins made. So, in sum, how our bodies react in and to an environment. It's our gene expression.
Thank you, gene expression.
Yeah.
You could handle things a little better, but you're doing an okay job.
I know, the whole asthma thing, that's gene expression. And,
yeah, I can't cuddle with a lot of dogs and no cats.
That's right.
Come on, gene expression.
Yeah,
get with it.
So how we figured out that being in a spaceship for a lengthy period of time can have a sometimes permanent effect on gene expression came about from one of research science's favorite types of studies, a twin study.
Oh, la la.
I know. Now, let's begin, my friends. Back in 2015, astronaut Scott Kelly boarded the International Space Station to begin what would become the single longest space mission ever. He was in space and on that ship for 340 days straight.
That's a lot of space.
That is so much space.
That's too much. That's almost a year.
Yes.
Of space.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What do you do?
Just float.
Okay.
A lot of floating.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fine.
Meanwhile, his identical twin, retired astronaut Mark Kelly, stayed on Earth, living his best retired astronaut life, and acted as the control group.
Oh, so actual twins.
Actual twins.
I just assumed that was a term that you like we might or might not talk about. There's like two things. It's actual twins.
Yeah, we're studying twins.
That's so
It's
cool.
a thing.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
very
pretty cool.
smart.
Yeah, remember, identical twins share the same exact genome. So if there are subtle changes in one twin, say because he was in space for nearly a year, researchers can attribute that change to the environment and not genetics. That's why twin studies are so damn helpful.
That's so cool.
There you go. Now, before Scott was shot into space, both brothers were measured in every way possible, from their mental state down to how their bodies physically functioned on a cellular level. The same metrics were measured over those 340 days. And of course, after returning to Earth, when Scott started the process of readapting to our planet and its gravity, measurements were taken during this literal coming down period as well.
So for the longest time, because of movies, I thought you could just like go to space and come back and then like get in your car and drive to Burger King or whatever. I didn't realize it was, and it makes complete sense that it's like a whole rehabilitation process because your body is like, you're coming back to gravity. You don't have the muscle. You don't have the this. You're unadjusted. So it just blows my mind that for the longest time I thought you could just get out of the spaceship and walk your dog or whatever.
Give it a Google. Usually astronauts have to be carried out of the their little shuttle thingy.
Oh my God, that's wild.
So fast forward to 2017. 200 researchers in 30 states got to work comparing and contrasting Scott's data against itself and against Mark's. Dr. Marissa, please tell us, what did they discover?
I would love to talk about it. All right, from NASA.gov, researchers learned that spaceflight is associated with oxygen deprivation stress. Okay. Increased inflammation and dramatic nutrient shifts that affect gene expression. Most of the biological changes Scott experienced in space quickly returned to nearly his pre-flight status. Some changes returned to baseline within hours or days of landing. For example, Scott was 2 inches taller than before he left Earth, but he shrank back to his original height. However, a few biological changes persisted after 6 months. End quote. First of all, he got 2 inches taller.
He got 2 inches taller.
That's incredible. And he tells everyone that at every party he goes to. He's like, I became 2 inches taller.
That's right.
Finger guns.
And I'm an astronaut.
That's right. But it's the other stuff that I'm really curious about.
Like the which biological changes persisted?
Exactly.
Thing? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. I need to know.
Good question. Well, first, my friends, 93% of Scott's gene expression returned to normal after landing.
But that's
cool.
That's not everything.
No, it's not. 7%. That's 7%. Well, it seems like they changed, and they're going to stay that way.
That's a lot. 7%?
I think so.
Of your gene expression? That's quite a lot.
I know, and he wasn't even up there a year. So.
I know.
So
I don't want to go ever. When we all have to move there someday because we ruined the planet.
Exactly. We did horrible things here.
Good luck with that, kids. I don't know.
So that's 7%. Let's talk about it. That 7% involves genes related to his immune system, DNA repair, bone formation networks, and how oxygen and carbon dioxide are regulated in the blood. Wow. So I know what you're asking now. Why and how?
Yeah.
Right? Both great questions.
Yeah.
And the answer is simple, yet profound. Stress. His environment was so radically different, and for so long, some biological adaptations naturally occurred, but can't be reversed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, parts of his body thinks he's still living in space.
Yeah, and they're used to working like a little bit overtime because it's space for a year.
That's right. Quote, oftentimes when the body encounters something foreign, an immune response is activated. Christopher Mason, a twins study researcher and an associate professor at the Weill Cornell Medical College, told Business Insider. The body thinks there's a reason to defend itself. We know there are aspects of being in space that are not a pleasant experience, and this is the molecular manifestation of the body responding to that stress. End quote. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my God.
She's holding her face with her hand.
Is my gene expression changing right now because I'm having a tough week at work?
Who knows? The past 2 years, we've all probably changed.
I was going to say, we all have from the pandemic. Our poor gene expression. Okay.
I am happy to report, though, Scott is as happy as a fucking clam.
Awesome.
And there was no impact to his cognitive abilities or mental health. Honestly, in every interview and documentary you see him in, he's optimistic and raring to get back up there. Good, Scott, okay.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but for the average person who wants to go to Mars, for example, just know that it's a 3-year journey to get there and another 3 to get back. So it's 6 times as long as Scott's record-breaking space mission. Just something to think about before you take the plunge.
Oh my God. Okay, but what if going to space actually turned you into a person with like superpowers? What if that's what's really changing?
He did get 2 inches taller.
He did, you guys. It's a superpower. But didn't he lose that again immediately?
Yes.
He was probably still like, worth it. Worth it.
So after the break, in space, no one can hear you scream. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay, it was the iconic tagline of Ridley Scott's film Alien.
Of course.
Well, I've got some good news. You can hear screams.
Okay.
or at least some noises, and I'm going to explain.
Okay.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Please do.
Have you ever wondered what really happened to Amelia Earhart or the lost colony of Roanoke? Do you ever find yourself scouring the internet for vicious Victorians and their murders by gaslight? Or perhaps you're just sick and tired of women being constantly misrepresented or plain lied about throughout history? If so, join me, Katie Charlwood, history harlot and reader of books, on Who Did What Now, the history podcast that's not your history class. Part of the Airwave Media Network. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Adios, au revoir, au revoir, my friends. Bye-bye. I'll be seeing you.
We're the All Creatures Podcast. Each week, Angie and I explore and share amazing details about the many animals we share our world with.
Plus, Chris and I are both PhD scientists and educators. So we do the deep dives in the scientific research and then come back and share what we learn in a fun and casual way. We also speak with other scientists, animal experts, activists, and many other conservation enthusiasts from all over the planet.
So you can find the All Creatures Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, Jill Chacha here from Well, That's Interesting, and I am absolutely thrilled to tell you about Spotify for podcasters. I use it, I love it, and it all started by downloading the free Spotify for Podcasters app, which has all the tools you need in one place to record and edit your masterpiece of a podcast. Spotify for Podcasters also distributes your show to all major platforms. So when you hit publish, your episodes will stream not only on Spotify, but I'm talking about the Apples, the Googles, Stitcher, Good Pods, the other ones. You get the idea. And you can monetize your podcast with no minimum listenership required. You could also set up monthly subscriptions and record ads just like this one. So what are you waiting for? Download Spotify for Podcasters today and start changing the world. Oh, and please, stay interesting. And we're back.
We are so back.
We are so back. And my friends, We're in the year no one remembers for sure. It's 2002.
You're right.
What?
I have no idea. I think because I was in middle school, so I blacked it out. Just completely lost.
As you should.
Yeah. If you remember middle school, wow, how was it? What's that like? I can't remember a single thing.
God, you and me both. So, anyway, it's 2002, and astronomers at NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory were doing what they usually do, pointing it at ancient things in the universe and waiting to see what the fuck happens.
I love it. I would do the same.
That's right.
I would do the same.
But on a very special day, they not only saw something special, turns out the data they recorded also happened to be a very special sound.
Oh. Ooh.
But first, where was it coming from? My friends, picture Earth.
Amazing. This is my favorite mapping you've done so far.
Now point to it and move your finger a wee 250 million light years away to a cluster of galaxies called Perseus.
Amazing.
Yes, we're all there. Fantastic.
I always do this with Jill. Like, I'll actually point my arm around.
We went in opposite directions.
I'm fine. It's too far away anyway.
It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Nothing matters.
Okay, so it's that way. Okay, got it. I'm here with you.
I don't know. So at the center of this cluster is a supermassive black hole, and it's doing what supermassive black holes do. It's eating and emitting staggering amounts of energy.
Relatable.
Yeah. But my friends, that energy is being transformed into a jam session.
Fun.
Dr. Marissa, please tell us, according to science.nasa.gov, what exactly did they pick up?
I would love to talk about it. I do think it's aliens. I haven't brought that up in a while. I've been bringing up a lot of Marvel, which does involve aliens, but I think it's aliens. All right. Quote, astronomers obtained a deep Chandra observation that shows ripples in the gas filling the cluster. Ripples in the gas filling the cluster. These ripples are evidence for sound waves that have traveled hundreds of thousands of light years away from the cluster's central black hole. End quote.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's gas in the cluster.
Yeah.
And there are ripples in that gas.
Going through it.
Yeah. Which proves that sound, those are sound waves. And they can see it through the gas.
You can see it through the gas.
Did I get that right?
100%. You're 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
Doctor in the house. Yes.
That's right. Ripples moving through gas, my friends. That's basically what you need to create and detect a noise. Kiona Smith-Strickland of Gizmodo.com wrote a breakdown of what sound is exactly and why even in space, sound can exist.
I'm actually really excited to hear what sound is exactly, because there's all kinds of mechanics to it that are beyond me.
Oh, let's see if we can break this down.
Amazing.
All right, Dr. Marissa, what do you say we take turns reading from that breakdown before we get into the significance of the sound those astronomers recorded?
I'm so into it.
Right,
Let's get it
for it.
started. All right, quote, when an object moves, whether it's a vibrating guitar string or an exploding firework, it pushes on the air molecules closest to it. Those displaced molecules bump into their neighbors, and then those displaced molecules bump into their neighbors. The motion travels through the air as a wave. When the waves reach your ear, you perceive it as a sound.
There you go. As a sound wave passes through the air pressure in any given spot will oscillate up and down. The time between those oscillations is called the frequency, and the distance between peaks is the sound's wavelength.
Ah,
There you go.
now I know what those things are.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Now that we know how to measure these waves coming from that fucking black hole, let's get to it. Dr. Marissa, you're up again. Please tell us, how fucking bonkers is this sound, and why is it record-breaking?
I would love to talk about anything record-breaking. Okay. From the Gizmodo.com article, there actually is sound in space. Quote, at the center of a cluster of thousands of galaxies, a supermassive black hole is humming to itself in the deepest note the universe has ever heard, as far as we know. The note is a B flat. How random. About 57 octaves below middle C, which is about 1,000,000 billion times deeper than the lowest frequency sound we can hear. End quote.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I really want to bring up right now, which has nothing to do with this, is the brown note.
Yes.
I heard about it in a television show once, not even on the internet. Television.
Oh, yeah. This note would make me shit.
Yeah.
You heard it?
In case you didn't know what the brown note is, it's a note that makes you
Supposedly.
shit your pants.
That's right, when you hear it.
Supposedly. I haven't even cross-referenced this on Google.
I think the CIA actually did some research into the brown note.
I am so into using that instead of like nuclear weapons, because think about it.
Yes, I'm all for
I would much rather just, if given the choice, humiliate people instead of devastate a country.
Yes.
That would, I think that
There you
would teach me a lesson.
Yeah, target your sound onto a politician when they're making a very important speech. Boom. On like national television,
Yeah.
a re-election campaign. See?
I think we solved
War.
the world peace. I think we got it
I think we got it.
with the brown note.
Put it on its own.
Put it on a tote. Also think of if you had an app and you were like really blocked up. Okay, anyways.
Wow.
I'm sorry, we were talking about space.
Capitalism always finds a way, you know?
I'm gonna be a millionaire. Okay.
Okay, so a B flat, 57 octaves below middle C. So, unfortunately, I have no recording to play because we're incapable of hearing it.
Of course.
And honestly, even if we could hear it, we'd practically have to be immortal to hear one complete note. Yeah, as Andy...
I'm not gonna bring up Marvel. I want to. I won't. Like an alien. I can bring up aliens.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now, as Andy Fabian, a professor at the Institute of Astronomy, described to CBS News, quote, the distance between sound waves determines the pitch. For instance, in a very high-pitched sound, such as an extreme upper note of a violin, the sound waves are close together and cycle many, many times. Most sounds detected by the human ear cycle very rapidly. But the voice of the black hole could never be heard by the human ear because there are 10 million years between each of the sound waves.
I know.
End quote.
I know this is like an unfathomable number, but as someone who was once in the band, and not like a rock band,
High school.
a high school band,
That's right.
a marching band, the symphonic band.
Ooh.
I didn't make it to wind ensemble. It's fine. That actually makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. It would just 10 million years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So just know, my friends, that this sound is out there and has been playing, get this, for the past 2.5 billion years.
She's been singing for a while.
That's right. The scale and scope of this info is devastating. But good news, we're going to end the episode on even more devastating facts
I love it.
that luckily affect a generation millions of years from now. We're in the clear. Even Gen Z, we're all good. Everyone listening.
Amazing.
Yeah,
We're all fine. We can keep ordering Seamless and staying home in our sweats.
Now, Dr. Marissa, you grew up in Texas?
I
Yes?
did.
So you know the glory of a night sky.
I do.
It's pretty goddamn crowded up there and even beyond what we could see with the naked eye.
Oh, yeah.
So one day, my friends, that won't be the case.
Oh, no. The stars at night. I'm not going to sing the song, but
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my Texas sky.
Yeah. But, Dr. Marissa, why don't you break the news? You're a doctor. You're trained on communicating trauma.
Yep.
So
Sure am.
why don't you give us the bad news?
I
Millions of years from now.
I would be fine with that. Okay. From the Scientific American article, Fade to Black, the Night Sky of the Future. Woof. Quote, the night sky on Earth, assuming it survives, will change dramatically, like this article, as our Milky Way galaxy merges with its neighbors and distant galaxies recede beyond view. The quickening expansion will eventually pull galaxies apart faster than light, causing them to drop out of view. End quote. Okay. So,
Yes.
our Milky Way, our galaxy.
Awesome.
Home
High five.
galaxy. Boom.
Yeah.
Personal fave. It will dramatically, okay, so I just want to get this right. It will change dramatically. And our neighbors will just go away.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Our neighbors will move away.
They're moving. I mean, they are moving now, and they're going to move even further.
The phrase "are not having neighbors" makes me so happy. I should be upset, but also I'm glad it's not our fault.
Yeah, for the first time.
I can't believe that. I just assumed it would be our fault.
That is great news. It's
Isn't
not
that
our
awesome?
fault.
Everything is our fault too.
You know what? Round of applause. It's not our fault. This is nothing to do with us.
Yes. The only thing that's our fault is we won't be here. And that'll be our fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
oh well.
you know what? I'm smiling ear to ear because this is it's not our fault and we can't solve it. It's great.
It's not our fault and it's not our problem.
So, but my friends, that's right. Remember, galaxies are moving away from one another, which means at one point they'll be so far away their light will never reach us, for reals. Now, this has a lot of implications for our next of kin. If you can't see other galaxies, you can't track their movement, which could mean, quote, in short, it erases all the signs that a Big Bang ever occurred.
Oh, wow.
End quote, from the same Scientific American article. Now, that's kind of scary, mostly because this fact leaves me with no doubts that on a future Twitter app equivalent, there will be a fiery debate between two parties. One that believes galaxies other than our own exist, as did the Big Bang, and one party that will not.
Oh my God. I was just thinking that. I was like, this will be a myth.
Yeah.
Do you think there are people from like gazillions of years, I couldn't put a number on it because I'm too tired, but from a long time ago who drew like pictures of aliens that they actually saw and we're just like, lol. Imagination, the human imagination, wow. And they're like, no, that's Gorlock. We saw him every week.
Yeah, because
when he came down,
we were neighbors.
and ate our children. Yeah. And we let him because they were annoying. And like, wow, I took that very far. I'm so sorry.
I love that story on that rock. Great story.
Yeah, good times. Anyways, yeah, it's going to be a myth
So
someday.
a fight on some Twitter app, I could see it now. But thankfully, the sun will be about 10% brighter in a billion years, which will for certain vaporize all water on Earth, ending that conversation and destroying all social media. So that's great.
I think that's a happy ending.
It
The
is.
thought of social media being destroyed, I think is beautiful. I think that's something that we can go to bed smiling about.
Wow. You know, I did not expect this to be so happy at the end.
We're optimists here at Well, That's Interesting. We're always looking on the bright side.
Hey. Always looking at the 10% brighter side.
Yep.
That's right. All right, so I guess we could sit back and relax and enjoy the night sky. The end.
Yep. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Don't do anything.
That's right. Great
Please
advice.
recycle, though.
And thank you for listening, rating, subscribing, telling your friends about, devastating things like, I don't know, that fucking black hole in space that's...
Oh my God. Tell everyone at work. Tell people at parties. Just watch their faces
That's
change.
right.
That's amazing.
You could also just maybe even mix your facts up and say that they found the brown note that's in space. Do that.
Oh my God. Or better yet, invent the brown note and
Yeah.
change the world.
Have fun. Yes. But please, stay interesting.
Please do.